My name is Isaac Bunik. I'm the founder of Motormia, wrencher, father to Mia, and big enthusiast for cars. Where'd I get my start in cars? It was the Mazda Miata.
Mazda introduced the Miata.
When I first got my license, that's how I started. Fell in love ever since. My first car-related company was a car dealership called 5 Speed Cars. I bought and sold enthusiast vehicles to the enthusiast market. My focus was anything manual. I had it in inventory and I sold it to end customers. How did enthusiast cars shape my approach to the business? I would say it helped me identify passion. The enthusiast passion resonates very loudly when they are talking about cars, talking about bikes, UTVs, trucks, whatever. And in business, you need to see those kind of things when you're approaching customers with value propositions. I wanted a convertible and I wanted a manual, and the Miata was the car that I could afford. And that was it. It was accessible, and I think that's the key and the beauty of the car, primarily. Taught me how to change oil. The car was too slow, so it was fun, convertible top, all that kind of stuff, roadster feel, but it was missing a little bit of oomph. So at the time, Flyin Miata was a young company. They had put out a turbo kit for the Miata, bought it and got it put on the car.
Hey, why? Can we adopt it?
That a lot of the technology on the car was outdated. Anything related to the suspension, the handling, the power delivery of the vehicle was out of date, whether it was the ECU, the turbo itself, some of the heat management that was in the vehicle, especially moving from New York to Arizona. So came into a phase where I wanted to really handle the cooling problems that were with the vehicle in this hotter environment, and then eventually up the game on the power delivery and controls, engine management of the car. I love the car no matter what. I had a great incident where the car was giving me troubles and I was a little down from the troubles, and a good friend of mine told me, Isaac, everything's gonna be okay because you're the owner of that car. And so that's, I think I've always given my all for this vehicle. I don't know what my gripes were. I don't know what I didn't have, because the original ECU was a Miata Link piggyback ECU that was released by Flyin Miata back in 2000. The technology has evolved with digital, all this kind of stuff, and kind of wasn't sure if I was getting the right amount of power out of the vehicle and all that kind of stuff. So switching over to the Haltech ECU opened up a new world of understanding of what can actually come about from this setup. What makes a modern ECU impossible to ignore is the connectivity aspects of it. So being able to view details about your vehicle in an application through various interfaces in the car. I mean, these are things you're used to on the newer cars that you buy, but when you're owning an early 90s vehicle, very analog universe. So adding a little digital touch to it really makes it, builds a stronger connection between you and the car. Yeah, so the first major problem we had was a cooling problem, but all that got resolved with upgraded intercoolers, upgraded radiators, coolant reroutes, and so forth. But the next major issue popped up on me a couple of weeks prior to SEMA, which was the head of the vehicle giving out. Power dissipated. What I want to get out of the build is primarily long-term reliability, but at the same time, a good amount of power to keep it relevant amongst the fleet of cars that I own. No rattles. No electrical gremlins, no rattles, no smoke, no leaking coolant, no oil issues, that kind of stuff. I don't know anything beyond 250 horsepower, so for me, 250 horsepower is perfect because I don't need any more power in the car. Getting all the stupid freaking sensors to work and send back readings to the ECU, and then the tune itself. We went through 3 tunes until we nailed the tune. We had to change tuners. And I think that's where the most lessons learned were in getting the build ready for SEMA. So wiring it, getting the sensors to hook up, and then going through the cycle of various tuners to ultimately dial in the car to where it needs to be was the biggest pain point. It was not really plug and play, but close enough to it. I don't think anything is ever really plug and play, but it was definitely close enough. You know, it started with the app. You know, Mia knew that the car already had a Miata Link ECU attached to it, asked for an upgrade. It recommended the Nexus S2 for the car with the plug-and-play kit for the Miata. More or less everything did plug and play, but obviously we had to do wiring and connecting up the sensors and ensuring everything actually works. So it's never really just plug and play. No, I wasn't worried because I knew we never cut corners on the build. So after the first tune, I was incredibly pissed off. I'd spent a fortune of money, assuming that I was gonna get a renewed vehicle that would drive like never before. And then ended up just not even starting and idling correctly after the tune. So I was quite pissed off, not at the car, but at the series of events that took place or the anticlimactic effects of the first tune. After the second tune, I felt that the car was brought back to life and it was almost a new car. Yeah, so the tuner recommended that we upgrade the fuel pump of the vehicle. There wasn't necessarily an issue of fuel delivery into the car, but he said having a bigger fuel pump would provide more consistent fuel delivery at the top end. So we ended up changing the fuel pump despite it not being necessarily recommended by me at the time. We want to upgrade the suspension. This is the Flyin Miata suspension kit, stage 1 suspension kit, so we need to get out of that and improve the suspension. We're looking at audio. The speakers blew out, almost 30 years old, so changing the speakers, changing the interface inside the car, and exploring options for refinishing and renewing the wheels on the vehicle. No, just handling. I think the ride height of the car is good. I already hit every speed bump. I'm Isaac. This is my baby, my family, my Miata, my Flyin Miata. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.